Do you think it was maybe the most complete game the Red Wings have played to date, just especially on the road?
I didn't think it was that much more than some other games. I didn't think it stood out that much different, to be honest with you. I thought we did so. I thought it was a good game back and forth, but you're never going to be perfect. But I think we've played some other good games on the road. You know, Jersey comes to mind. We were in a tight game. We found a way to win. You know, certainly there was other games where we had parts of the game where we were better, like the Columbus game for the first half of the game. We were way better than we were the other night. Wow. But to be honest with you, I thought it was a good game. I thought we played good. I wouldn't put it any higher than or lower than that.
You know, Dylan has really said that he wants to be the guy on this team, that he wants to lead the Red Wings back to the promised land. And I'm kind of curious. It was 15 to 15 in the dot. Can you talk about face-offs and just how important it is and how he's upped his game and obviously you too?
Well, I think it's a real important. It's situationally important too. Like I think one thing it does is it gets you as a player more ice time. I think when I'm sending somebody out for a D zone faceoff, or I'm sending somebody out for an O zone faceoff, I was very aware that what Dylan's record was on the faceoffs, and so then he's going to get out there instead of maybe a certain other center or a different center because they're not winning it. You know, and it's the same thing on the power play. If you're winning faceoffs in the power play and the other unit's not, then you're going to probably get out there a little bit more. So does it help the team? I think it really helps in situations for sure. I don't think it totally dictates the game, but I think it can certainly help in situations. Power or specialty teams. End of games, those types of things. Well, I just think they're a good team. I mean, their top line's got 112 points. That will lead to lots of success on the road and at home. They've got an elite line, and then that allows the rest of the groups who are good players to play within certain roles, and they do a good job of it. They've got they've done a good job with their back end. They've gotten good goaltending, so they're a really good team. They play extremely fast. They're got some guys that can really skate. So we're gonna have to be on top of our game tonight.
When the season began, you had the mantra 60 minutes of hell. I know you wanted to forge that identity, being harder to play against. How's that team coming along as far as that identity goes, and how much does Tyler Bertuzzi fit that mold?
Way better now than we were at the beginning of the year. Just I think our physicality. Part of the 60 minutes of hell wasn't just physicality because I didn't know what we were made of yet. You know, like did we have players that fit that? But I think we've got more players that fit that now, and Tyler's one of them. You know, I think Rass is another one of them. There's other guys, but in terms of guys that are playing more minutes now, Tyler and Rass both are those kind of players. Glenny's always been that. So I think from a physicality standpoint, and probably from a hunting and hounding and that type of standpoint, we're closer to that than we were at the beginning of the year. You know, I thought we were that in the preseason from a hunting and hounding standpoint, but I think our physicality's increased over the last 3-4 weeks.
How much did you need this team to be harder to play against all over the ice?
Well, I think you have to be. Part of harder to play against for me is space and not giving up any space and that. And we haven't always been great at that. It's something we're continuing to work on. But I just don't. It is hard to be a real good team if you're not hard to play against, unless you have like immense more talent than the other team, and nobody has that in the NHL.
Colorado has the top power play in terms of efficiencies. They mainly because of the first line there.
Yeah, their power play. Actually, both units are very good. They've got the one line that when that unit goes out, they're really good. They're dangerous. They've got great chemistry as a line together. So then I think the power play unit feeds together. But the second unit, has a former #1 overall and Eric Johnson on it. Tyson Jost is in the slot, and he does a real good job shooting pucks in that area. So I think in order to have a #1 power play in the league, the other unit has to be able to go out there and still score in limited time, and they've done that. So it's a we're gonna have to stay disciplined tonight.
What separates their power play from power plays like the Boston's or Toronto's or Winnipeg's? All those power plays that you need to talk about?
I mean, they're all real good. They all have a little bit of differences. Winnipeg. Has more of a look like Washington, where you have so many options off that side because of the righties that they have and the one-timer with Laine and Ovechkin. This one would be, I'd say a little bit. It's not Toronto has a lot of downhill element to it. This one's certainly got some of that. They do a good job. You know, it'd be similar to Boston's too, where they can move in different parts, and you know, sometimes McKinnon's in the slot, sometimes he's off on the one-timer spot. So it'd be similar to Boston. Well, I had him on the ice as a junior hockey player, and then didn't draft him in the next draft. You know, so that you know, that's the reality in the USHL. And he went to Sioux City, and then I got him in Western, and I didn't think it was going to be a you know, this great freshman until I saw him on the ice. And I said the very first time I saw him on the ice, I said, "Holy smokes! Like he's got some special attributes," and then he's just kind of carried that forward. When he came to the NHL, I thought he'd be a good player. I think he's been even better than I thought, and then he's continued to do that. So, you know, I think this year Danny's played really, really good. He's been one of the guys that I think has really brought his game up to another level. I think his physicality's been real good. His consistency's been good. So, you know, the fact he's got himself to 400 is impressive. I think he's got lots of hockey left in front of him. I think it's awesome. Just speaks to the different paths different players take. My kids are all playing youth hockey, and I think everybody wants to make judgments on kids when they're real young, when, boy, there's a lot of different paths to get to where we're standing here today.